going back to the layout here, right? Remember I told you with this view, with the isometric view, we can leave it as is right now, shown in conceptual. It's a shaded view. But what if I wanted to show this with the hidden lines and the visible lines as well? Well, what's different about this is I'll be using the Soldraw or solid profile command. And what I could do with this is if I select the solid within that viewport and hit enter, now I'll have these series of questions that'll enable me to project, to create automatically the visible and hidden line work for this view. You can see there at the command line, it's asking me, do I want to project those hidden lines? Yes, just hit enter. And then also the profile lines. Yes, hit enter. And then also to delete tangential edges. Yes. And then now what you'll see is some additional line work. But in order to see this properly, you must return the view display to 2D wireframe, and for this viewport alone, you want to freeze the 3D object layer only for this viewport, nowhere else, just by using this option right here in your layer pull down. Now you can clearly see what is a visible edge and what is a hidden edge. Let's go back to the layout paper. Now we're ready to render all the other orthographic views. For that, we're going to use Soldraw. Activate the command and come back and select each of those 3D viewports you created earlier, and then hit enter and watch the magic happen. There are all the visible and hidden lines. One thing that you'll notice, you'll see from the front view to the top view here, what should be hidden doesn't really show up as hidden. The reason for that might be very simple, is that those lines are not long enough to show the dashing. This is where you can start to take a look at line type scale factor. Okay, so if I activate the model space there, and you'll notice that when I regenerate the view, right, I still don't see those dashes. But if I type in LT, okay, this shows you the line type manager. Show your details here, and you can see here the global scale factor. Now I'm just going to make this 0.5, thereby reducing the overall global scale factor for line types. And what this will help me do is to better visualize those hidden lines. Now before I zoom in, once again, this is a good time where you can lock each of those viewports. So click into those viewports and lock them, making sure that they all have the same scale. Now, the only one here, the isometric view, does not need to be to scale, right? But take a look at your top view, front, right, and left. Make sure that those viewports are locked and that the scale is shown correctly. As I zoom in now you can clearly see what's hidden and what's visible. All right. Lastly, what we want to do here is now add our dimensioning. And the key here when we add annotations, whether it's dimensions or notes, is this. Notice with those layers that were created with the Sol View command. Now you can see here we have the PH and the PV layer. The profile hidden should be blue. The profile visible should be cyan. And you can see that they have the appropriate line types assigned as well. Okay? What you're going to be doing is when you're going to annotate the top view or the front view or whatever view, make sure that you're in the appropriate layer. You can see here I have my top dim layer. So if I make that active, then when I'm in this viewport, in the top view, this is the only time that I'm going to use my annotate and dimension tools or text or leader tools. Okay, so for example here, notice that as I zoom in, the view doesn't change. That's because it's locked. But this will allow me to go ahead and select features and to annotate my drawing. So as I go to the front view, I can't just start dimensioning. I need to check my layers. So when I go to the front view, you can see that the top dimension layer is automatically frozen for this view. right? So I got to move to my front dim layer so that as I do my dimensioning there, I can see my dimensioning for that view, but not in any other view. And that's what's important about that. If I come back to the layout paper and zoom extends, okay, once I finished doing all of the annotations within the viewports, what I'll want to do also is to freeze the viewport layers when I'm done. And then there you can see all your drawings floating within your layout. Be sure to also update your title block here and your scale. Just to review one more time, take a look at the model, and now you can see all of this additional line work, right? What AutoCAD has done is based on the solid that I created, right? And now working in layout with the Solview Soldraw command, what AutoCAD has done is basically create the visible and hidden line work simply by projecting this information onto standard planes. So if I come back here to the layout, you can see we've got our complete presentation. All right, so make sure you guys review, create your PDF, and submit that.